Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to this. I hope you have your snacks, drinks and stuff like that ready because this one could be a long one. Tonight I'm going to talk about Wwe Tlc pay-per-view and Ring of Honor's Final Battle pay-per-view that were both on this weekend. I'm going to talk about them in reverse order. And what I mean by that is I'm going to review I'm going to talk about the TLC pay-per-view first and then the Final Battle show second because that's the order I watched them in. Okay, and I think it was probably the better way of doing it, to be honest, because the worst show was on the Sunday, better show was on the Saturday. But to watch them in reverse order means I got to watch a bad show and then watch a good show. Two little things I want to talk about before I go on, and don't worry, I won't be long. Firstly is I want to just plug my brother's tune. Again, I mentioned this in my predictions video the other day, but there's a link down there. If you like dubstep, go and have a listen to that. It's a great tune. The other thing is that coming up later on this week will be the UBW Round Table number 2. We filmed it on Friday night. Now, bear in mind that with the three of us, it took an hour and 10 minutes to cover 3 free-per-views in December of 2009. Yeah, well, because there's 5 of us and we've got a lot to talk about, and me and Dave especially have got a lot to talk about, because we're covering our favourite UBW shows, so this one goes a bit long. Let's put it this way, it's in 4 parts. Part 1's 32 minutes long, Part 2's 39 minutes long, Part 3's 42 minutes long, and Part 4 is 48 minutes long. Each one covers 1 free-per-view. So as you can imagine, lots to talk about, especially me. I talk a lot. So yeah, those are my 2 little things I wanted to talk about. So, shall we get on with it? So, WWE TLC was on Sunday night. My first thought going into this show, other than the fact that it doesn't look like it's going to be very good, is this is another show that's sponsored by SmackDown vs Raw. Now, does anyone else get the impression when they watch a pay-per-view that's sponsored by SmackDown vs Raw that, well, they can't get anyone to sponsor it, so they just have to use one of their products? Just a little thought. Anyway, opening contest was the IC title ladder match featuring Kofi, Kingston, Jack Swagger and Dolph Ziggler. Now, my prediction, of course, was this one was Kofi. Obviously wrong. Did anyone else want Vicky to take a big bump? Vicky Guerrero goes up the ladder, so she's right near the top and she's trying to get the belt down. Anyone else sat there watching this going, oh my god, I would love it if she took the biggest bump of all time through a table or something? Obviously, it's not going to happen, but that was what I was willing to happen. Like the way that Kofi climbed the ladder while in the ankle lock. Hated the finish though. The finish of this one I really didn't like. But you know, basically Kofi and Swagger are at the top and they're fighting. They're trying to get the belt. They grab the belt. It falls down and Dolph Ziggler picks it up. Dolph Ziggler raises it and he's the winner. So I think you've got to give it props because it was creative. You know, and it was a classic heel victory, wasn't it? Heels get cheap wins, so this was a classic heel win. But at the same time, the match was plodding along nicely. I would have rated it higher than the 2 stars that I'm prepared to give it because I didn't like that finish at all. Next, Natalya and Beth Pheonix versus Laycool. This was a Divas Tables match. My prediction was Natalya and Beth, which I got right. Only one girl has to go through a table. In this one, there's a pink table out there, which is interesting. Never seen that before. What I liked about this match is I was expecting this one to be short. Now, you should be grateful because, look, I'm reviewing it. I'm actually talking about a women's match. And then there was the women's match, and that was nice. Yeah, but the thing I liked about this match, yeah, is that there was a lot of false finishes in it. You know, there was a lot of times where it looked like a table bump was coming, and you just thought to yourself, yeah, here comes the victory. And it wasn't. That happened like 2 or 3 times. I like that. Finish comes as Laycool have Natalya up top. Then Natalya pushes them off, yeah, so they both land on the table. And I think the table is meant to break, but it doesn't. So Natalya, and I hope this was improvised, because I like it if it was. Natalya does a splash onto the table, puts both of them through the table for the win. I like that. And I gave it a 1.5 stars, is what I did. Koslov and Santino versus Slater and Gabriel. Tag team normal match. This one, no prediction, of course. Crowd don't care about this one, and neither do I. The match was boring and crap, ending in disqualification when McGillicuddy hit Santino as he went for the TLC, the Totally Lethal Cobra. Dear me. Next is beat down the faces, including Barrett, who uses a chair. The match was a nothing. It was a 1/2 star, you know, if you're nice. Maybe a 1/4 star from your truly. Next, in what my opinion was the match of the night, was John Morrison versus Sheamus in a #1 contender ladder match. I can hear Nutty Rockchick squealing as this one starts about how good Sheamus Jomo? Yes, I will never call him Jomo. That sounds stupid. Just need to point that out. Speed versus power is always a good combination. Amazing, and just amazing. One of the best spots I've seen this year, if I'm honest. Corkscrew, amazing springboard corkscrew splash is I think the way I'd describe it. John Morrison's at the top, he's got a big ass slider here, springboards over it, yeah, and in mid-air he turns that into a corkscrew splash. That's one of the best spots I've ever seen. Oh yes, that was brilliant. Sorry, I can't say yes like that, I'm condescending. Shit. Shit. Yeah, basically both guys, worked really hard in this one. And the reason why I've given this one 3 stars, and one of the reasons that I've given it such a high rating, is because, right, it wasn't the best of matches, this one. It was just a standard ladder match. There was 2 big bumps in it, yeah? There was one I've just mentioned, and Sheamus came off the top of a ladder, and they put a ladder on the outside very early on in the match between the apron and the barricade, yeah, and Sheamus went crashing into that. That looked painful. Yeah, but other than that, this was just another standard ladder match, nothing that we've never seen before. But the reason I've given it that extra, so it's like a 2.5 star match top. The reason I've given it that extra quarter star to make it up to 3, yeah, is that wonderful P word. It's psychology, because Sheamus worked Morrison's leg in the match, and Morrison sold the leg. That gets big ticks from me. Sorry, big ticks from me. Oh yes, it does. Sorry, shit. Finish is nice as Morrison climbs a ladder. Sheamus tries to push over, but Morrison bounces off the ropes and boots Sheamus in the face, enabling him to climb up the ladder. And that was superb, and that looked like a nasty, nasty bump. Next, right to the face, really was good. Orton vs Miz, WWE title match. This was a tables match. My prediction was Miz, which was spot on, and by God, did you hear the pop for Miz? He didn't get a pop. The pop for Orton when he came out. My thought was, yeah, it's going to be very interesting listening to that pop and comparing that pop to the pop that Orton gets. Pop, pop, pop. If you say it a few more times, pop, 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 pop. So, nothing stood out from me until Orton countered a move into an angle slam type thing. That was nice. Basically, right, referee got bumped midway on, and so you just knew, at that point I'm just thinking to myself, Miz is going to win this one for definite. Alex Reilly gets in the ring, or A-Rai, which is another stupid name, sounds so ridiculous. A-Rai gets in the ring, yeah, Orton puts him through a table, Miz hits the skull-crushing finale, yeah, and then, because the referee's down, he obviously don't see it, so Miz does classic heel sort of thing, goes, oh look, puts Orton in the broken remains of the table, wakes the referee up, and the referee awards Miz the match. And you're just like, oh, that is just awful. You're thinking, that's the worst finish I've ever seen, And, again, it's one of those things that you've got to give props for, like in the opener, because it's creative, and it's a heel, cheap victory, but at the same time, as a fan, you're just watching going, fuck off. But no! The referee sees a replay on the fucking Tron and restarts the match. When does that ever happen? So you're thinking to yourself, oh, now you see, now Orton might win this one, but no. Orton batters Miz a couple of times and chases him into the ring. He gets on the apron. Miz pushes A-Rai into Orton. Orton goes through a table, and that's the win. And you're just like, 2 awful finishes. 2 stars, because I'm nice. Next, Kane vs Edge vs Rey Mysterio vs Albrto Del Rio is a TLC match for the World Heavyweight Championship. My prediction with this one was Edge, which was spot on, big pop for Edge, right? And this is an interesting one. I spotted this one. I know I've stopped spotting ones like this recently, but I'm well chuffed I got this one in, right? Did you notice that Matt Striker says, at the start of this match, he says the first ever TLC match was at No Mercy 99. Fail there, teacher dude. First TLC match was not at No Mercy 99, it was at SummerSlam 2000. You fail. So, Ray takes a nice face-first bump into a ladder from Kane. Remember how I said that Full Metal Mayhem match will be better than this? When I did my final resolution review, yeah, you're probably going to be right. This was boring. The crowd was flat until Edge came off the top of a ladder onto Kane, who was on a table. I enjoyed how Ray used basically they brawled to the entrance ramp, and the entrance where I'm sure you noticed is made up of tables and ladders and chairs, and he got on top of one of the tables and did a splash onto Kane. That was nice. Edge and Ray take a big bump off the top of a big ladder. That was great. Would have looked better with a table though. I laughed when Del Rio's announcer dude got choke slammed. That was funny. And then Del Rio takes a big bump off the big ladder through a couple of tables. Yay, good work. That's what we like to see. Kane is busted open on the side of his head, we noticed. And you're like, oh, I wonder if they're going to stop the match. Of course they're not going to stop the match. That'd be stupid. Kane's like the only person who can get away with it. Yeah, he'd taken a drop toe hold to a chair. And I reckon that's what busted him open, if anything. Edge then... Kane gets speared off the apron through a table, enabling Edge to get the belt. Match started slow, but some of the spots saved it. I just don't think this was as good as the Full Metal Mayhem match that we saw in TNA, so I give this one 2.5 stars. Finally, two little things. We've got Cody Rhodes cuts a promo dissing Houston, right? And the thing is that what he's saying is meant to be heelish, yeah, because it's in Houston, but anyone outside of Houston will go, yeah, fully right. Because he's dissing how fat people are in Houston, and Houston's like one of the fattest cities, in America. So what he's saying to someone like me, I'm just like, yep, he's damn right. Anyway, Santa Claus comes out, and it's not Santa Claus, of course, it's Big Show, and they do some stuff. Yeah, actually, got to say, Big Show is a fucking great spinebuster in that segment on Cody. Finally, oh dear me, Cena versus Barrett. I've given this one I screwed out my initial ratings twice. I've gone with 1.5 stars for this one. Cena's pop, yeah, is tiny compared to the one that Orton gets. I don't know if anyone noticed that. That guy's popularity is nowhere near as popular as Orton. Pop wise, if nothing else. CM Punk comes out and does commentary on this one. This match, what can I tell you about them? Is that there's nothing special about it at all. It's a standard Cena match. It shouldn't be the main event. I know that for certain. Excuse me. And basically, the only thing of note of this one, the only thing, yeah, is the finish where Cena hits the Attitude Adjustment onto Barrett, who's on. There's 6 chairs set up in the ring. But I mean, was this result ever in doubt? Ever? I don't think so at all. I've seen some I watched this, wrote out my notes, then I went and checked out some reviews of this one. I've seen some high reviews for this, and I'm telling you folks, I don't know where you're getting these reviews from. I've seen 8.5s for this show. I've seen the majority of people giving it a 7.5. I don't understand how people can get that, yeah? A lot of very average matches. Nothing really stood out for me. The Morrison versus Sheamus match was the best, and that was 3 stars. How can you people rate these matches so high? Yeah, 5 out of 10. Average show. Nothing better. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. If you give the Ring of Honor Final Battle 9 out of 10, which a lot of people are doing, yeah, how can you then say that this TLC show was an 8 out of 10, or even a 7 out of 10? It can't be close. It's nowhere even close to being as good as Final Battle was. So how can you give it such a high rating? That's why it gets the rating it does, and that is my argument. That's what I'm sticking to. It is a 5 out of 10 kind of show. Okay, good. Moving on. That's just my opinion at the end of the day. If you don't agree with it, that's your opinion as well, and you're completely entitled to that. There is no way that I am right and you're wrong. It doesn't work like that. So, next. Final Battle is Ring of Honor's WrestleMania. I'd say it's its biggest show of the year. There's been some great Final Battles, there really has. I've got a few on DVD. So, let's go on with it, shall we? On the All Night Express versus Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. Now then, I tell you what, the best part about this match was I enjoyed this one to a point. It wasn't anything special though. It was a classic Ring of Honor opener, a tag team match that has some good wrestling in it, some nice little spots. I tell you, the best move in this, the best one was by Adam Cole, yeah, and he did a springboard DDT on the apron that I probably put at least a 1/2 star, maybe even 1 full star onto the match rating of this match, because it was fucking beautiful. Giving this one 2.5 stars. It's fast-paced action, great spot. A blockbuster powerbomb gets the win for the All Night Express, which is good. Next, Colt Cobana versus TJ Perkins. This one's an interesting one because TJ Perkins gets 0 reaction from the crowd as he comes out. Secondly, it's billed as a scientific match. Now, if I think of something scientific in wrestling, I think of reading old issues of PWI from the 80s where they described baby faces as technical or scientific wrestlers. That's what they call them. That always makes me smile. Basically this one, if you're a fan of mat wrestling, which I am, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was such a good match. And the thing is that Colt Cobana is known for being a funny guy, isn't he, in wrestling? And, he manages to pull off really great mat wrestling while still doing all the while still doing all the comedy stuff. And that must be so hard. It really must be so hard. And I'm not a super worker by any stretch of the imagination, but I know that doing the backyard, I can either be funny or I can be technical. You know, I can't be technical. Funny or hardcore. Let's put it that way. I can't do both. I find it hard to do both. You know, Colt Cobana is just a fucking. He's just amazing, isn't he? The way he does that. Yeah, like I say, a lot of good mat work in this one. The only problem with rather this one really is it's too short. It only goes 8 minutes. So, you know, Colt Cobana versus a roll-up. It's a solid match again, 2.5 stars. Next is an interesting one. I've seen people give this one 3 stars. Can you believe? Awesome Kong and Daizee Haze versus Albrto and Serena Deeb. I watched this match throughout. For all of it, and that is the reason why I watched the Divas table match. Let's see which one compared. Now, bear in mind, I gave that match a 1.5 stars. Yeah, I believe it or not, and I'm going to get some heat for this one. I'm going to give this one 2 because this was a good match. Don't get me wrong, this was a good women's match. But I tell you something, bear in mind that there's people hyping this one. But when we were going up into everyone doing the prediction vid, people were saying that this was going to be better than any women's match, any Divas match, any knockouts match you've seen this year. And my problem is with it. Is that although it was a good match, yeah, and there was some nice stuff in it, that Royal Butterfly that Sarah Del Rey does is so fucking nice, isn't it? But it was not that much better than any women's match I've seen this year. Does that make sense? Now, bear in mind, I'm the guy who gives most knockouts, most Divas matches 1/2 star, because they don't deserve anything else. This match was all right, but I mean. I wasn't that impressed by it. Like I say, I'm seeing 3 stars for this, and I don't know where that's coming from at all. Because what makes this one so special? Like I say, Serena Spears, Kong, and a power driver by Del Rey gets to win. Like I say, 2 stars. Eddie Edwards versus Sanjay Dutt. Now, of course, this one was meant to be Eddie Edwards versus Kenny Omega, which I think would have been a superb match if I'm honest. Kenny Omega's a fucking awesome wrestler. I've seen people give this one 3.25 stars. Where the fuck does that come from? Firstly, crowd completely dead. Secondly, right, this match has 0 psychology in it whatsoever. This is just move, finish. There's no story in this match whatsoever. Where are you people getting these high ratings from? I am no way a ROH fanboy, I'm not a WWE sheep, I'm not a TNA fanboy in the slightest, but I do not understand where this rating comes from. 3.25 stars from ROH Styles I saw after I finished this one. Could not believe it. There's some good stuff. There are some good stuff in here. There really is. The DDT and a standing shooting star press by Dutt make me mark out. They're lovely, But, I mean, huge powerbomb, 2K1, which is a cradle barrel driver, get the win for Eddie Edwards. Right, the match was nothing special at all. Every move that I've seen in this, I've seen a million times before. Yeah, the crowd hated every second of it. I can understand that. I can't. Believe me, before you start moaning, I can't. Because they wanted to see Edwards versus Omega. Everyone knows that. I wanted to see that match. Was looking forward to it, yeah? They're not going to see that. They're obviously, the crowd aren't going to be as appreciative of this match. But like I say, even taking that factor away, I don't get what people are marking out for this one so badly for. I really, really don't, I'm afraid. 1.5 to 2 stars I've given this one. I would never give it 3. Not a chance. Not a chance. Next, oh dear me, Homicide versus Christopher Daniels. This one. You see, the problem I've got again with this one is I went into this match, I went into this show, yeah, and this was one of the matches that I really wanted to see, but for me, 2 spots stand out. The rest, this match just felt flat, and it was another one that had no psychology in it, no real story, just felt like move, finish. 2 spots, right? Daniels hit a springboard, I say, moonsault that was beautiful. Homicide hit the triple suplex that Eddie Guerrero used to do, yeah? And then he hit I can never remember what it's called. What's it called? A tope con halo. I had to write that one down because I can never remember what it's called. The rest of the match was, there was a really nice finishing sequence where Angel Wings was counted into by Homicide. But yeah, this is the problem, yeah. Sorry, I was going to say something else then, but the finish is awful. Because, like I say, right, check this out. Angel Wings is countered by Homicide. Daniels is pushed into the referee, and a cop killer gets the win. And it's just like, that's an awful finish. And let me tell you about another thing about this match, yeah, is there was some guy called Mike Bennett on the outside. And I'm telling you, this is what it felt like from a fan's point of view. It felt like this match was a vehicle so that they could keep showing, the camera could keep cutting to Mike Bennett. So I know who Mike Bennett is, because I've never fucking heard of the guy. You just said that's what this match felt like. I'm expecting a 4-star classic out of these two, 2.5 stars. Felt so flat. I came away from this match feeling really disappointed. For the second straight pay-per-view from Ring of Honor, I've watched a Daniels match that's meant to be this dream match. You know, you come away from it and go, yeah, that wasn't really that great, was it? And you're just like, oh, it's so disappointing. Yes, yeah, 2.5 stars for that one. Next, the Kings of Wrestling with Shane Hagadorn versus the Briscoes with Papa Briscoe. Now, this is an interesting one, isn't it? Papa Briscoe's dressed up like his sons, which makes me chuckle. I was very, very wary of this match. I didn't like the idea of the storyline going into it. Well, no, I didn't. It's not the storyline. I've got no problem with the storyline. It's the whole Shane Hagadorn and Papa Briscoe involvement that I thought could spoil it. That match that thought went straight out of my head when Papa Briscoe hit a fucking head scissor, and you're just like, where the hell did that just come from? No way. Basically, the whole crux of this match concentrated on Hagadorn and Papa Briscoe. Everything that the Kings of Wrestling and the Briscoes did was fantastic. But the thing is, what made me really impressed is that everything that Papa Briscoe did was really good. He won the match for the Briscoes, yeah? He hit the clothesline part of a doomsday device. And you sat there watching it going, oh, you know. And then he did it perfectly. He did it absolutely perfectly. Match, of course, was... he did a stunner. Need to point that out as well. He did a really good stunner as well. Match was completely lacking of any selling at all, any psychology in the slightest. But it was entertaining as hell. It made me laugh a lot. So I've been prepared to do this one. 3 stars. I've seen people give it 4. If that's a 4-star match, how can I give this next one a 4.5? Bear with me, just for 2 seconds. Feel like I've been talking for all eternity. Next. Oh, we're going to go through this one move for move, because I'm a nice kind of guy, guys. We're moving on to the 2 main events. So, Roderick Strong versus Davey Richards. Matches for the ROH World Title. Not much time for Strong, if I'm honest. Can this match change my opinion of Roderick Strong? That is the thing I've written down for it. Some perfect mat work at the start. Some beautiful submission moves, including a Musa Lock, cross armbreaker. Davey works the arm, and we have some psychology in a Ring of Honor pay-per-view all night. The one thing that's been missing from this show has been psychology, and look at this. Davey Richards working the arm after doing a cross armbreaker. Oh, finally. Northern Light Suplex gets 2 for Davey. He goes straight back to the arm. They brawl on the outside for a bit, and Strong starts to come back, getting 2 off a leg lariat. He works the back nicely, as you'd expect from Roderick Strong. As much as I haven't got much time for him, he always does incorporates good psychology into his matches, because all his matches all his moves like backbreakers and things like that. So if he's doing submission moves, he's going to be working the back. It's just obvious. It's good storytelling, is what it is. You know, anyway, Richards goes for a handspring elbow, but Strong hits a dropkick in midair, which is just unbelievable. Richards hits a stunning tope, followed by a missile dropkick. After a bit more mat work, a Falcon Arrow gets 2 for Strong, followed by a side suplex and a strong hold, working the back. Yay! A chop and a kick in the corner from both men, followed by a bridging German suplex that gets 2 for Davey. Super belly to back plex and a lariat get 2 for Davey, as does a big kick to the head. Ankle lock, truth to Guarcini distracts the referee while Roderick Strong taps out, and then we get one of the closest near falls I think I may have ever seen as Davey Richards hits a shooting star press, and I cannot believe that only gets 2. It's one of those mark out central moments. It really, really is. Half Nelson backbreaker off the top gets 2 for Strong, but it doesn't look too great to be honest. It looks like it's a bit of a botch. Gets probably a 1/4 star knocked off for that one. Back suplex off the apron through a table and a Gibson driver on the floor by Strong, who then chucks Davey into the crowd. Referee utilises a 20 count as they do in Ring of Honor. He gets to 19 before Davey gets back in the ring, which is always good. He gets back in the ring and he eats a gutbuster and another Gibson driver, but that only gets 2. A Strong hold is turned into an ankle lock, which is turned into an ankle lock by Strong, which is turned into a cloverleaf, which is turned into a cross face. Wow, what a sequence. That's amazing. Gibson driver gets 2 for Davey, another ankle lock, and a huge knee strike, backbreaker, and a sit kick get 2 for Strong. Another backbreaker, a super kick, and another sit kick gets 2 for Strong. Strong then and this is where probably one of those moves when Davey gets knocked the fuck out, and a stronghold, and the referee stops it. Superb match. It was absolutely fucking awesome. Straight match of the year contender straight away. I do actually maybe, think it could be a match of the year, even though I haven't rated it quite as high. I mean, I'm starting to think that maybe I rated Tyler Black versus Dave Richards 5 stars, and in reflection, it probably was a 4.5 star match, because it didn't have the psychology in it, which, this one did. 4.5 stars! Absolutely amazing. Davey does a marvellous job of selling that he's out the fuck, he's dead. Loads of trainers fill the ring. He's got blood coming out of his ear. And then what I really love is he does a masterful selling job of how vexed he is that he didn't win the championship. I love that. That was fucking super. Shall we give it 5? On reflection, just looking back on it now, I think I've got it. I think this is a 5-star match. It's a technical masterpiece. Both men gave it their all, hit their best moves, and I fucking loved it. Absolutely brilliant. So, can the main event top that one? It's as Kevin Steen takes on El Generico. Kevin Steen loses, he must leave Ring of Honor. If El Generico loses, he has to take off his mask. Interesting stipulations, do you agree? Ring announcer warns the crowd that this one could be brutal. It's like, yes, bring it on! I want to see blood! So, I'll go through this one. It's pretty damn fantastic. This is a 5-star match. No question for me. This is a 5-star match. So, let's get on with it. El Generico starts the match off with a suicide tope. Brilliant. Can't get wrong with that. He follows that with a Yakuza kick with a chain round his foot, which busts Steen open. And he then throws a table at Steen, and we notice that Steen is literally pissing blood. There is a small fountain of blood coming out of his head. No problem with that at all. Doesn't bother me because of the match that it's in. Steen comes back with a powerbomb on the apron, which is just disgraceful. He uses some blood to write die in his arm, and then he pulls off some Ring of Honor signs off the barricade, puts them on top of El Generico, and does a frog splash off the top onto those fucking signs. Bet that hurts. Both men, to be fair. He picks up a full barricade, runs at El with it. El moves out of the way. A backdrop on the floor by El, who then throws a ladder at Steen in the ring. Steen big back body drops El onto a ladder. As it looked like El was going to try and do the half Nelson suplex. You could knock maybe a few points off that one because it looks so obvious. When Steen's there in front of a ladder, that's propped up on the ropes, and El runs at him, it's like, I wonder what's going to happen to him. And lo and behold, big back body drop. You could knock points off, but I'm not going to. Huge powerbomb by Steen, who uses a chair, including a rolling senton team. He tries to rip off the mask and rips a good portion of the mask away, so you can see that half of El Generico's face. He then hits a jawbreaker with a chair, which busts El open as well, and he's busting quite a fair amount, it must be said. Steen, he basically puts his hand on El's face like this, where he's bleeding. Pulls his hand away, his hand's covered in blood, so he sits like this, licking it off. It's like, you sick fuck. And that's exactly the chant he gets. He gets a you sick fuck chant. Now that's better than fucking TNA any day, isn't it? You sick fuck, come on. Michinoku driver onto the edge of a ladder by fucking El Generico. That's just wrong. He follows that up with a T-bone suplex onto a ladder. He follows that up with a half Nelson suplex onto the ladder. By this point, I'm a quivering mass of goo. I'm marking out that much. I can barely write what I'm seeing down. I don't want to write what I'm seeing down. I'm thinking of fucking stopping reviewing it and just watching the match and enjoying it. So that's what I do. So at this point, I just watch it. We're going to have to go back to it again. So where were we? We were powerbomb onto the barricade by Steen, who sets up a ladder across an apron and a barricade. He then puts a table on the ladder, and in one of the best spots I've ever seen, El Generico takes a run-up and dives through the gap between the table and the ladder, catches Steen while in midair, and turns it into a fucking tornado DDT. And you're just like, just stop it. Just let that be the win. I can't handle this. It's just too much. But they go inside. A super kick by Steen. He goes for a package pile driver by El, but it's countered into a half Nelson suplex on a chair. A half Nelson suplex, one of my absolute favourite moves. That's Mark Out Central. That is Mark Out Central. Change here for new pants marking out. It's fucking epic. He follows that up with a brainbuster, and that gets 2. They go up top, and Steen goes through a table he goes through the table that's set up on the ladder. He goes through that. Package power driver gets 2. Brainbuster on the apron, that gets 2. So Steve Corino comes out. No, yeah, sorry, he gets 2 because Steve Corino comes out. He breaks up the pin. He then gets out the ref, and he gets out the chair. On my notes, in capitals, the chair, yeah? Colt Cobana comes out. The chair, sorry, for those who don't know, the chair is the one that Kevin Steen had used on El Generico at Final Battle 2009. It's the chair. Oh my god, it's the chair. But Colt Cobana comes out and he chases off Steve Corino. He then hits Steen with the chair! But El Generico can only get 2 out of that. Unbelievable. El goes for a big boot but hits the referee, who gets bumped, yeah, off the apron and bounces off the barricade. You're like, my god, now that was a fucking ref bump. But no, that's not a ref bump. Don't be fucking silly. Package power driver, there's no referee. Another referee comes out to make the count. He gets 2, so what does Steen do? He picks up the ref who's just come out and package power drivers him on the fucking chair. No, he doesn't. Not on a chair. Sorry, I'm getting too ahead of myself. But anyway, he hits a package pile driver on a ref. That's amazing, if you ask me. Ha! Package pile driver on a chair on El Generico. You see, I got a bit ahead of myself. Third referee comes out, and that only gets 2. Can you believe it? What will it take to get to the win, sort of thing? You're on the edge of your seat. You're marking out like a bandit. Package power driver on a chair. Third ref, we've done that one. Yakuza kick. Brainbuster on the turnbuckle. He's never been able to hit it on Kevin Steen. He does it. The place is going ballistic. It only gets 2. Can you believe it? El goes, they get back in the ring. El goes to hit Steen with the chair. Steen begs for mercy, pleads for mercy. Even holds out El Generico's original mask. Said, look, I've got this. Generico takes the mask. He thinks about it for a second, then you just see him go, fuck this. And one of the biggest unprotected chair shots I've seen since Royal Rumble 99 gets the win for El Generico. And ladies and gentlemen, that's 5 stars. Markout Central, getting excited just thinking about it. Have to watch it twice because the first time I couldn't make any notes. I was enjoying this match way too much to be able to make any notes. That'd be silly, wouldn't it? Oh yes. Here's an interesting and a tricky one, ladies and gentlemen. What do we rate this one? You see, before the intermission, it was just average matches, you know, and I didn't particularly enjoy Daniels versus Homicide as much as I was expecting to. 2 top-of-the-range 5-star matches close the show out there, so, you've got to rate it high. We are going to go... Yeah. Oh. You see, like I say, Daniels and Homicide felt flat, as did the women's match. The women's match, to me, was, a couple of good moves, but nothing special. I'm going to go 8.5 out of 10, which should say to you, if you don't see any other matches off this show, make sure you see those top 3 matches because they're all good in their own individual ways. The Kings of Wrestling match versus the Briscoes is entertaining. The title match is hard hitting and brutal, and then just brutal and hardcore and just mental, to be honest, for the main event. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to know what you thought of both of those shows down there. Also, go and hit that link of Craig's, and if you're interested, I'll be uploading the roundtable vids in a couple of days. I'm sure many of you won't be interested. I'm sure of it, and that doesn't bother me. If you were a UBW fan or you watched any UBW back in the day, you should give it a watch because it's fucking hilarious in places. My goodness me, I laughed so much on Friday night. Yeah, my cheek muscles hurt because I was laughing so hard, and that's genuine truth. I'm not just saying that. So, to everyone watching, I hope you have a very safe, warm and pleasant Christmas. I hope you all get presents that you like. Don't get too drunk, it doesn't make you look very clever at all. I will be back, maybe, with a Massacre on 34th Street video. If I don't do that, though, I will see you all next year. Take it easy, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.